Continuing on with Remembrance of the Cousin, also continuing on with Valley Fair with my cousin. So Valley Fair, I guess I must have had a little bit of money, 'cause I remember, I don't remember, I don't remember. I remember something, but not everything, because this was a long time ago. I'm in my 40s, and I'm trying to remember stuff that happened when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So that's understandable if I'm having trouble here, but I do have some notes. So I remember something about this. I just don't remember everything about this. I remember somehow I had won or purchased, I guess, yeah, I either won or purchased this. It was a snake. It was a rubber snake. It wasn't a real snake. It was a rubber snake, a toy snake. And I don't know what kind of snake. It might have been like a cobra, like with the hood thing. Uh, I don't know why I got it, but I guess I liked how it looked. It looked, if at the time, it probably looked kind of realistic, and I had never had a toy rubber snake before. And I remember you could squeeze it, and it squeaked. A snake that squeaked. It was like a dog toy. For some reason, like I kept squeaking it, and then it just stopped squeaking after a while. I was like, it doesn't have any value to it. There's no value to it anymore because it doesn't squeak anymore. Kind of silly in retrospect. I guess I should have kept it. I might have still had it, although it probably would have like fell apart after a while, cracked. But so I got this rubber snake that squeaked, but then it stopped squeaking, and I lost interest in it. Kind of funny to think about that. I'm only interested in this object if it squeaks. If it doesn't squeak anymore, I'm done with it. It's not important to me. But I think maybe like I originally maybe another factor of it was like originally I was interested in it, but then like I maybe like after looking at it, it kind of scared me a little bit because it was like a realistic, which what I felt was a realistic looking snake, but it was rubber, made out of rubber. So maybe that was part of it because I was like, this is kind of scary looking. I regret this purchase. So, similar to what I mentioned previously about my cousin, like I had this toy that I think maybe I was scared of a little bit, and I just gave it to him. But I think I said, well, I don't want this anymore because it doesn't squeak anymore, possibly. But I think it was also because I was a little scared about it because it looked like a snake. Well, it was a snake, a fake rubber snake. So maybe it was a little scary for me. So I was like, this doesn't squeak anymore. So my cousin was like, oh, I'll take it. So I gave it to my cousin. I don't know how long he had it, but I think maybe I wouldn't be bothered by it anymore if I had something like that now. I think it would probably be I would probably be okay with it. A rubber cobra. Cobra, that was in G.I. Joe. Cobra. That's how some people would be yelling Cobra in the G.I. Joe. Uh, so yeah, me and my cousin were just like we were off on our own. I don't know where the parental units were during this, but we were just me and my cousin were looking after each other apparently in Valley Fair. Uh, I remember at one point at Valley Fair, it was already dark out. I don't know what time we got there, but it was already like toward the end of the day or night. It had become night, and so we were there for a while. I don't know how long, but it was already dark out, and there was a band playing at Valley Fair. So there was this stage set up, and all these like people just around. Uh, I don't know if there was any seating or just people were just standing while watching the band play. I don't even know what kind of music it was or who was playing or anything. I don't think it was anyone famous. Uh, but I just remember just kind of just I felt like I was just wandering around. I felt comfortable though. It's funny to feel like being comfortable just like wandering around. I felt like I was just like uh familiar with my surroundings, I guess, because I had been there for a while. Like as if I was just in my own town, just wandering around. So kind of scary to think about now. Me, just a kid, like a 6 or 7 year old kid, wandering around at a fair uh, on my own because of like I could have been kidnapped. So something bad could have happened to me if if it was if no one was there to prevent it. So I felt like I was wandering on my own, and I was okay with it because I felt like I was in a familiar. Yeah, I was already like I felt like it was a familiar uh, environment for me. But it's possible somebody was watching me. Maybe my mother was like had an eye on me. I don't know, or my cousin, somebody possibly. I just don't remember anybody. I didn't see anybody watching me. But thankfully, I wasn't kidnapped because later I had heard about uh, kidnappings, and that just hearing about it traumatized me. So I was probably told, hmm, I think maybe I had wandered off on my own, and my mother, I think, told me about someone who was kidnapped and murdered. So that scared me. I was very definitely affected by that. Uh, so I don't know specifically when that happened, when I wandered off and my mother, I guess, couldn't find me at, for a little bit, and then she scared me by telling me about someone being kidnapped. She didn't just make it up. I know it was a real thing about this specific case. I don't want to get into it because it's horrible. Yeah, I don't want to get into it. I'm thinking about it right now. It was a horrible, uh, famous kidnapping. Not from a long time ago. It wasn't like the Lindbergh thing. That was horrible too. Anyway, going off on a little talking about kidnappings. Okay, I'm talking about my cousin. I'm trying to talk about my cousin, not kidnappings. Nobody was kidnapped in my own personal life. Okay, I guess guess I'm done talking about Valley Fair. It was kind of fun, although I was scared a few times. I would be interested to go back there, but I probably would not go on a roller coaster. Although it's like that, like taking chances. Like you don't like sometimes it seems nice to take, seems like it's good to take chances as long as you're like uh still careful. Um, just to do something to say that yeah I did it. I was brave enough. So I don't know if just for the nostalgia factor, might be kind of neat to go back to Valley Fair. I just probably would still be scared about going on roller coasters or Viking ships. So I have more memories about uh, me and my cousin at his house, his two-story house. That when he was, it wasn't his house. It was when he was a kid. It was his family's house when he lived there. So I still have some memories of this house where my cousin lived with his mother and his brother. His parents were divorced. Um, he had a stepdad at one point, but I don't remember his stepdad at this point. I think that was later. Anyway, so there I have some movie memories with my cousin. Um, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies I'm associating with this house. I remember seeing the Nightmare on Elm Street movies elsewhere, like even like back then, like during the 80s. Like I saw some many years later, like after my cousin died too. But very early in my life, I remember watching these Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and they freaked me out. Uh, later, there was a moment in my life later where I kind of felt like this. I got some enjoyment out of some of the movies. Like sometimes I felt brave about it, but then and then later I felt too scared to watch them because there's definitely some of these Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Like some of the scenes are pretty scary. I'm gonna try not to swear. They were pretty scary. Uh, hmm, this video is already getting long. Um, okay, so yeah, I remember being scared of these Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but my cousin really liked them. Uh, one of the It's like I remember that like one of the earliest memories I have of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think it might have been the second one, but just there was a scene with like people in a school bus and like I guess they were having a nightmare, kids, high school kids, I guess, and just like the image of like they were like on the school bus and it was like on this like spire, I guess. I don't know. The ground had broken away and they were left on this one like slender piece of road that had broken away, and the bus was just like going like this, and like just remembering Freddy Krueger's claw came, like I don't know if it was like during at this time in the movie, but like just I'm remembering his gloved, it wasn't a claw, it was his metal razor sharp uh, glove hand would like shot out of the person's chest. So that was scary. And this video is already long enough, and I'm not even done talking about Nightmare on Elm Street.